Welcome, boars and ghouls, to another episode of Creeps of the Crypt, a Tales from the Crypt podcast where two old men review a television series from 30-something years ago. I'm your host, John. Along with me, as always, is my co-host,
Brother Alan. Back at it again.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, we have our first Patreon member, and it is none other than our number one fan, the Jimmy Ryan. Thank you, Jimmy, for Yes, for joining and spending your $2, your hard-earned $200 to see. It sounds condescending, but I'm not being condescending at all. I'm being genuinely sincere. Thank you. I appreciate it, and we will have more stuff up there. I promise you. We talked about it. You probably heard it on the unedited version of the podcast on Patreon. You probably heard it. So this is what we do. We cut stuff up, and you never realize it.
God's a master editor, so there's a lot
of
stuff
clicking
that was in the cutting room floor, and he's trying out new soundboards.
Yeah, I'm just having fun today. I'm in a good mood.
Yeah,
that's like the best one. I like that one.
Yeah.
The Jimmy Ryan became a new Patreon member. There we go. So yeah. Any hoozle, let's get to what people want to talk about, and they want to talk about Tales from the Crypt. All right? We are on season 5, episode 5, right? Titled People Who Live in Brass Hearses, which originally aired on October 13th, 1993. The episode stars Bill Paxton, who you know from Twister and Terminator and the Titanic.
Game over, man. Game over.
Aliens. I know him from Frailty, which is a great film. But basically, honestly, I'm not going to be a prick and say this, but he's a good actor, but he's always Bill Paxton. Or he always was Bill. I don't know how to say. Like the character.
It's just one of those actors that transcend, I guess, performances. Like you kind of get that similar thing with like Nick Cage. You know, everyone always sees Nick Cage when he does a certain movie or role.
He's always the same character, pretty much, or I don't know. It's always he's whatever he's from. Like the character in this episode is Billy DeLuca. DeLuca, right? It should be like an Italian. He does not come off as Italian, so much so that Brad Dourif, I think, does his voice impression because they're supposed to be brothers. So Brad Dourif is doing, is that how you say it? Dourif? He's the brother Virgil. He's doing like a west, down south southern accent. And it was like, anyway, so yes. But I like Bill Paxton.
Their names didn't match what they were going for with their accents. They have like they have an accent to them, Southern guys.
Yeah, and his name is DeLuca.
Hicks.
Though I don't remember them actually saying Billy DeLuca. I remember him Billy. I don't remember him DeLuca, but on IMDb it says Billy DeLuca. So, but anyway, I like Bill Paxton as an actor. I'm just saying, like, he's always been himself. But my favorite film of his is Frailty with Matthew McConaughey. I think he was fantastic in that. Anyway, so stars Bill Paxton, Brad Dourif, as Chucky. That's his most notable role. And also he was in Lord of the Rings as, I forgot what his name was, Slime Tongue or something, Worm Tongue or whatever. Then we got Michael Lerner from Elf and Godzilla. If you've seen his face, you've seen him in something. He's
90s. Blank Check and Ace Ventura.
Yeah, that's what.
No. Too.
Yes, Blank Check.
Ace Ventura?
Yeah, Blank Check. Yeah, I don't remember Ace Ventura, but Blank Check. Oh, is he in? No, that's not him. In
the first one,
Ace Ventura. No, that's not him. That's not.
Oh, yeah, different guy. It looked like him.
He looks
I'm
like
thinking about it now.
Yeah, he does look like him. And then we got Lainie Kazan. She was in Beaches, and most notably, everybody knows her from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That's the biggest thing.
I think she plays the mom, right?
Yeah.
In that movie, the Greek movie.
Yeah, the mother of the main character. Then it was directed by Russell Mulcahy, or Russell Mulcahy, and he directed The Shadow and a bunch of garbage because The Shadow flopped, so he never really got to direct anything. And
The Shadow's a guilty pleasure. I remember that one.
They were
Baldwin. That was I like the early kind of comic book movie.
They were like, you know what? Let's give this guy another chance. So they gave him this episode, and he did Resident Evil Extinction later on. And then we got Scott Nimerfro Now, for a second, I was like, I know that name, Scott Nemeroff. I was like, Scott Nemeroff. Then I looked at his IMDb. I go, wait, I've never seen anything.
That's a whole different guy, right?
It's a whole different person. So Scott Nemerfro.
I mixed them up too.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's that. But why don't you give us a little synopsis of what this episode's all about? And after you do that, tell us how it starts with the Crypt Keeper intro.
Yeah, so I had it written down here. Fresh out of a 2-year stint in San Quentin for skimming inventory, Billy DeLuca, as we mentioned, played by Bill Paxton, he's craving a little payback with his off-kilter brother Virgil, played by Brad Dourif, riding shotgun as well. Billy's kind of initial plan was to rob his former employee, which quickly melts down. And looking for a new target, the brothers set their sights on the man who put Billy behind bars in the first place, Mr. Bird, played by the other actor there. I didn't get his name, Michael Lerner, right? Michael Lerner. And to the neighborhood kids, he's just a harmless ice cream vendor with a knack for puppet shows. But to Billy, he's the snitch who ruined his life. So before the DeLuca brothers can serve up their cold, calculated revenge, they're about to discover that Mr. Bird's sweet exterior hides a very dark secret. And will Billy finally get his just desserts, or are the brothers in for a fatal brain freeze? Ooh. That's my Tales from the Crypt intro / synopsis. But I'll get to, I mean, this is like one of the examples. I feel like it just has nothing to do with the episode, but it's just the Crypt Keeper dressed as a football player, and he's kind of in a huddle with the skeletal players and cheerleaders, the skeleton cheerleaders standing behind him. And he just says, chop him up to the left, chop him to the right, chop him every chance you got. Fright, 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 to his teammates. All right, creeps, it's fourth and goal. They're probably expecting us to run a ghost pattern, so let's scream passes instead. I could pull a few other surprises from my little playbook in tonight's tale. It's a couple of brothers planning a little high scaring of their own in a nasty bit of offense I call People Who Live in Brass Hearses. That's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do really with the episode, but I just thought it was I thought it was funny that they went that route, and then I guess it's kind of like complimentary to this, because this comic kind of goes its own way too. But the main part of the comic story is there. It's just they kind of like modernized it, I guess you could say, for this one.
Well,
it's similar in a way, but they kind of add elements of the comic into this episode as a more of a twist than anything.
I'm gonna spoil something here, and
what's
that is that this fucking this episode, for some reason, was really hard for me to get through. Really hard.
Did you find it? Yeah, you found it hard. Okay.
After a certain point, it's cool, and I get through it fine. But for the beginning,
after you reflect on it, yeah,
it was about half of it that I dislike. Also, unfortunately, I don't think I could give this a rating at the end of this episode, because when I originally sat down to watch this episode, I told Alan something came up, and I had to leave. And then when I came back, I had an emergency. When I came back, it was a brief emergency or whatever. It was like I had a flood, I think. That was the day I had a flood. And I cleaned and everything. And then when I came back into the living room, it was spoiled. The twist was spoiled. And I saw it. So I was like, ugh. So then I had to sit down and rewatch it, and it just doesn't, you know what I mean? So that's my issue with the episode. But we'll talk about the episode. I'm not saying I hate it. I do not hate this episode. I do not dislike this episode. I just said I cannot rate this episode. I cannot rate it because it was spoiled, and I could give it a general, like, it's okay. But, like, I don't know. It's different. For me, for some reason, I just feel like I'm better off not rating it, because I think after it was spoiled, I was upset, and then I couldn't get through the episode rewatching it. I rewatched it about 4 times. Twice today. You know, like I watched it twice today, and I'm like, I don't know. But once it gets to a certain point, I was like, I really like it. So we'll get to that. But so yeah, the
No, that's
episode,
fair.
yeah. So the episode opens up. We're at an apartment, down angle, and there's garbage kind of all over the place, like filthy animals. We see a guy sitting on a sofa, reading a comic book, and then we have our main character, Billy DeLuca, played by Bill Paxton, is walking around, pacing around, trying to watch television, and he puts on cartoons, and then he goes to the kitchen. I think he says like his food was missing because he's asking like where his food was or who ate his whatever it was, and his brother said he doesn't
remember
know.
that was part of the beginning. He was like trying to find something, and I thought it was like a lighter. I think at some point, no.
No, I don't think it was a lighter. I think it was food. He went to the kitchen, he opened the fridge, and he says, "Where's my goddamn sandwich?" or something like that. And then he says, "Oh no, who drank all the Hawaiian punch?" That's what it was. He's looking for Hawaiian punch. Yeah. Who drank all the goddamn Hawaiian punch? And then he goes, "I don't know." That's Brad Dourif. And we're going to get a sense real soon. There's something wrong with Brad Dourif. So he goes, comes out, and then he takes, this is what I don't understand. And doesn't make any sense. It's like, what is the point of having this quirk that's not even in the comic? So why he has a butter fixation. Like that's like so he comes out with a big container of butter, and then what does he do? He's like packing cigarettes. That's what's telling us
he's just really
into
butter and eating it. Yeah, he's pulling that Melanie Mac when she was eating butter and got sick. So I don't know what that was. If that was like a forecast of the future to come. People just trying to get into the new fad of just eating butter or whatever, or being an idiot. But yeah, I didn't really get that either, because like I'm trying to think if there's anything that happened throughout the episode that tied that quirk in with his butter. But no, not really. I guess it was just kind of a way to have a certain quirk about him. I guess to get, I wouldn't say be relatable, but I guess just to make him more down to earth or human, you could say. I also thought like the dynamic between him and Brad Dourif was pretty good. It kind of reminded me like more darker. I don't know, like they have like that mice and men kind of dynamic going on, but I don't think they're but like, they're just
but different.
Yeah, they weren't friends, right? But they're like, were they brothers? I can't remember.
In this, they're brothers.
Mice and men.
No, and then Mice and Men are not brothers.
So similar idea.
It's similar, but in Mice and Men, George is a nice guy, and his Billy is a piece of garbage. He just got out of jail.
Yeah,
and he's sitting there with his brother who's mentally slow, and he starts eating butter. I don't, and it doesn't pay off. I don't remember it paying off at all. Like, what was the point of introducing this? Why couldn't he smoke cigarettes? It's HBO. Like, why couldn't he be addicted to meth or something? You know what I mean? Like, why butter? But maybe I missed it, but I don't remember it ever paying off.
The only thing that connected him enjoying butter was another character.
Yeah,
happened to be eating a stick of butter at the end, but that's really all about it, to be honest.
But that's because he gave the kid the butter. He said, "Here, kid." Later on,
he got hooked on butter instead of buying ice cream.
The kid was like, "Ooh." That kid was pretty famous too. But anyway, so the only thing notable really here about this scene is that they made, because the comic book that what's his name in this episode? Virgil. The comic book he's reading is Predator versus Jesse James.
Oh yeah, I had to look it up. Is this real? And then it was like, nah, not real. But it would be ridiculous around that time in the 90s, because they would be making comics about whatever. I know they had Batman versus Spawn, or they had Batman versus the Predator or something, or Judge Dredd against one of the aliens, I think.
An idea I had last night was I was laying in bed and I was like, I wonder if this ever made this. You know, the Rising Sun comic book with Superman? Is it Rising Sun? Where Superman lands in Russia instead of landing in America, and he becomes, okay. So like the point story, the whole idea of Superman landing on Earth is that, like, he lands in Earth, he gets adopted by the Kents, and then there's several different versions where the Kents take him and they put him up, they sent him to these people to to like the adoption center. There's cartoons and comics that they do this, and then they adopt him because they wanted him, you know. And then there's other versions where they just keep him and say she had him, depending on how old Ma Kent was or whatever. But I was wondering, like it just hit me last night. I go, wait, was there ever been a comic where Superman lands in Atlantis and becomes the king of Atlantis before Arthur is even born?
Not that I could think of, but it would be a interesting Elseworld story to tell because there's so many of them. Like
imagine
even like Flashpoint with if the Martha and Papa Wayne survived, it would change the whole thing.
If they
the
did
whole story.
If they did Atlantis like some of the comics where it's it's underwater but it's encapsulated, like in the city's underwater like that. Not like the movie where it's like a city underwater and everyone's like swimming around like normal. you know? So if they did it like an encapsulation and he lands and Arthur's mom finds him and father and they bring him up. And then his brother Orm or whatever can't compete with Superman as, would they call him Superman? No, he'd be Aquaman, right? He wouldn't be Superman. He'd still be Aquaman. But he'd be more powerful than Aquaman. Anyway.
Super Aquaman.
But he couldn't talk to fish, so he wouldn't have that ability. So that's the other thing. But anyway, I was just thinking about that. But anyway.
He could boil him with his laser vision.
Yeah. But they had... So he's reading this comic, and he starts asking his brother. He goes, Frank and Jesse James, did you think they ever robbed a warehouse before? And he's like, yeah, probably. And his brother's like, yeah, probably. He goes... Well, do you think they ever robbed it with I don't think he says ice cream. Like he says something like, what other thing? And he goes, shut up, I'm watching this thing. And he goes, well, and of course, Frank and Jesse had horses where they rode on, but we don't have horses. We have this. And he starts going ballistic. And we see that he's abusive to his brother that's slow at times, or he's hot-tempered. Like he almost smacks him across the face. And he's like, shut up. Enough. I'm sick and tired of hearing about Jesse James. He was a wussy. Has he ever done time in San Quentin? He ever did 2 years in San Quentin like me? So that's when you find out he was in jail for 2 years. And then he realizes, he looks at his brother. He's like, oh God, I forgot this guy's stupid. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like a kid. He's not stupid. He's like a child. He has the brain of a child. It seems like.
Yeah, that's why I was making that comparison to Mice and Men. So that's kind of like one of the things I dug about this episode was just what they were doing with that. And I think that was probably one of my more favorite parts of the episode is their interactions. And some of the dialogue is actually not that bad. I thought it was kind of funny that they were arguing about some stupid things like this example. And then another one later on when they actually go through with pretty much robbing their former employers that he worked for. Cause he was like a ice cream vendor. And then I guess he was skimping product on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll find out later,
stealing.
And he went to jail he's to San Quentin of all places for 2 years for that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, San Quentin. So then he tells him, like, let's go over this. He's like, basically apologizes to him and says, who's always been taking care of you? Your big brother. He goes, yeah. And he goes, let's go over the itinerary or the plans one more time.
Pretty much.
And he goes, I already know what we have to do. And he goes, well, let's go over one more time. So he asks him, who's on the shift with you? So the whole warehouse conversation he had, like if Jesse James ever robbed a warehouse, they're already leading into the idea that we know that now, that because they're going over this plan, that Billy and Virgil are planning to rob wherever Virgil works, the warehouse Virgil works at, which Virgil works at ice cream vendor's warehouse. So he asks him who's on the shift or whatever. And he tells him all the information when he gets something wrong, and Virgil flips out again on him. So leading us to know that Billy is just short-tempered for real. Like he has no time for stupidity, which kind of reminds me.
Yeah, that gives us a bit of time. Like, John on the side likes to verbally abuse me sometimes when I show up a minute late. They get on here to record, so I was like, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we were going over everything. He goes, what do you have to do? And he says he skips a step. He goes, no, you idiot, you got to disengage the fire alarm first. Well, I don't know why the fire alarm.
Yeah. Yeah. They pretty much just have a whole plan hatched out, and then, you know, Billy thinks he's gonna fuck it up, so that's why he has to keep constantly repeating himself and get mad. But I like that scene though. It gives us a little more insight on them and you know what their dynamic is and what to expect.
Yeah. And then so he apologizes to him for messing up and forgetting the plan. And he goes, you can't forget this. Like, that's really important. Like, if you mess that up, everything's gonna get messed up. He goes, I promise I won't forget, I promise. So he goes, let's hope so. And I think after that, you know, that we're seeing like how slow Virgil really is. Because he's like sitting there like hitting himself, you know, like he's slow. He's very slow.
Unlock the door.
No! God! Disengage the fire alarm, then you unlock the door. You got it?
Right.
Please tell me you got it.
Right. I'm sorry. I'll remember, Billy. I promise. I promise.
Good. Let's hope so. All right. Enough of that.
And I will say another thing about this Brad Dourif's performance, totally abnormal, not abnormal, like not in his normal acting. You know, like I could say Brad Dourif always was Brad Dourif, but I can't now because he doesn't sound like he does in any other movie because he's doing a Southern accent. He's actually giving a performance that's totally different. I mean, then again, he does give different performances, but like he's known for his voice. You know, like that voice is iconic, and you don't get that voice in this episode at all. Like I don't hear it at all. It's just like a different guy.
No, he actually did a good job on this one. Like he's more than just like so I remember I watched him too. I think he was on the Deadwood as well, and he was great on Deadwood.
He was in Halloween. Yeah, that's another one. Halloween, he doesn't sound like he sounds like because he's doing a Southern accent, I think, in Halloween too. In the Halloween movie, I think he's doing like a different accent that he doesn't sound like Chucky. He doesn't sound like he does in Urban Legend. You know, in the beginning of Urban Legend where he has a stutter. And he goes, someone's in the back seat! After this, we see an ice cream truck, and Billy and Virgil are watching the truck as all the kids run up to him and are getting ice cream. And this guy is the guy that betrayed or ratted out Billy and cost him 2 years of his life in jail. And let's watch this scene right here because I forgot everything about this scene. So
yeah, John's trying to remember. Yeah, we get Michael Lerner playing Mr. Bird, the ice cream man that ratted him out, Billy out.
Yeah,
for skimming the inventory.
Patience, my little friends, patience. Remember, there's a method to my madness.
I will say something else too.
Kids get ice cream in the show.
Hey, Mr. Bird, it looks like all our friends want ice cream.
Of course they do, little Willie.
I wonder who did the voice.
First.
Bite the big one.
I think it did say on the IMDb there's somebody was uncredited for this. But I don't know.
Oh, yeah?
Some guy named Cam Clark. I guess he's a voice actor in cartoons, so he's got a long laundry list of stuff, animated stuff he worked on. That's
what I was gonna say because this is very familiar. This voice. As a kid, I'm like, I've heard this voice in several things before.
This guy voiced Leonardo Rocksteady on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon from the late '80s.
Yeah, let me hear this.
These fruit drinks.
Oh, that's a good idea, little Willie. They come in 8 exciting flavors, and they're good for you, too. In fact, I think I'm going to have one right now. Why don't you tell the boys and girls a little knock-knock joke while I enjoy this fabulous new 79-cent drink sensation?
Okay, boys and girls, who wants to hear a knock-knock joke? All right, knock-knock.
Who's there?
Uh-oh.
Said who's there? What's the matter, Bird? Don't you recognize one of your old vendor buddies? I used to drive a rig just like this. Of course, look a little worse to wear. See, I just spent the last 2 years of my life
Well,
riding.
Bill Paxton's great though, even though I know it's Bill Paxton, but I don't know. I enjoyed him in this episode.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, he talks to him. He says, "You remember me?" He goes, "Yeah, I remember you." And then he's like, "Oh," he gets kind of upset at one point, and then that's when he gives, he almost like he says, "Hey, buddy, like stop talking." The little kid tells him, like, "Hurry up," like get going, because
Yeah, I mean they go back and forth. Billy talking about his beef with him, and we find out more of the reason why he went to prison, that because he was skimming inventory off the ice cream business that they're gonna rob, and then Mr. Bird snitched on him, and then he ended up in prison for 2 years. So that's gonna be part of his major revenge, which I thought was gonna happen right away, but then early on it ends up happening later near the end.
Yeah, because it seems like I don't know. This is a weird one. I don't like this. Actually, the more and more that we talk about this, I'm not a fan of this episode. Like nothing, especially the whole beginning.
Let's.
No, I don't even want to. I don't even want to.
Jesus, John.
I swear, I don't even want to go through this whole thing. I don't. Anyway, so they get into an argument. The fat kid's like, "Move, butthead," and he goes, "Ugh!" Like Bill Paxton's gonna hit him, and then he realizes he's a little kid, and he's like, "Oh, sorry about that. I'm just kidding." And he goes, "Yeah, let's bygones be bygones. Do you have any butter flavored ice cream?" And he's like, "No, like, you have butter this, butter pecan, butter blah, blah." He's like, "Nope." And he goes, "I do have butterscotch." And he goes, "Perfect." What? So there's no payoff to this. So then he gives him the butterscotch. Can you break this? Yeah. That's when he sees that Mr. Bird got a lot of money. Like they make a lot of money doing this puppet show and selling ice creams. I don't know. It's the worst ice cream. They couldn't even get real ice cream for this episode. Like I don't know what's going on here. Like it's like a container of like soup because he goes,
a little bit runny, huh?
Yeah, he gives the butter after he gets the ice cream. He gives the butter to the fat kid, and then the fat kid says some line like, I don't know, it was stupid. It wasn't worth remembering. He kid looks at the butter.
Nothing major. Just kind of set up to what's gonna happen later.
Yeah,
we'll give her credit though. I mean, the way they filmed it, it looked like it was hot as fuck out there. So yeah. I could see why. I could see the ice cream melting quick and looking like soup.
No, that's real quick, but. Anyway, he goes, "Here, kid." But the butter didn't melt.
That's true, right?
Yeah, the butter was frozen. And so he goes, "Here, kid." And then the kid looks at him.
Just gives him a stick of butter.
He goes, "Loser." And then so he goes, "Hey," he brings the ice cream to his brother. His brother's like a little kid. He's all happy. And says, "Tomorrow, Billy, he's just an old puppet man." And then like he's like, "Don't do it." Then, or I don't know, somebody said that, either Virgil or whatever, and Billy goes crazy and smacks the freaking ice cream out of Virgil's hand, and it went all over the place and it hit Brad Dourif in the face, and he acted throughout the whole thing with the ice cream on his face, and then he feels bad about what he did because his brother looks like he's gonna cry, so he goes, "Come on, take mine," and he's looking and he's like, "I lost my taste for this stuff," and then he drives off. Yeah. Butter. That's it. That's the last, I think, that we see about butter in this whole freaking episode. So I don't even get the point of it. This whole thing is stupid. The title of this episode is "People Who Live in Brass Hearses," right? The whole idea of the name is like people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw, like people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. People who live in brass hearses. Does that make any sense? No. In the comic book, the reason the title is called "People Who Live in Brass Hearses" is because the character has a brass hearse. He drives, not brass hearse. He has a hearse.
Yeah, it's a literal brass hearse.
Maybe it's a brass hearse. He has an old wagon with a stagecoach, right? But it's a hearse. It's like where they used to put bodies.
Black velvet draped over the hearse wagon.
And people were wondering why he did that. And there were kids in the comic, and they would run and tease him and talk crap to him, kind of like the fat kid does here. But then there's no puppet show. The guy ignores them, goes to town, buys things. People wonder, like, why doesn't he get out? Why do we always have to bring the stuff to him? Or whatever the case may be. And then, so you're getting the comic book early, because I'm telling you the whole comic now. And then things happen. No, things happen in the comic. But that's the whole idea, is the hearse. Why is this called "People Who Live in Brass Hearses" in this episode? No idea. They couldn't do it. I don't know why they did it. Why didn't they just change the name of the the episode?
Well, it's kind of like one of those other examples. Like it's the same thing that we talked. I think we mentioned a bit for Forever Ambergris, because I mean it had the same title, but it didn't really have much to do with the Ambergris up until up until to the end, really. But
wait,
it was like they had the same title and then this different things that's not related to what happens. Just kept the same. They got remixed the story of the comic pretty much.
Did we talk about the comic in that episode? I don't think we even talked about it.
We glanced over it. It's because we didn't necessarily read it all. Or you didn't read it, and then we're like glanced over it. But similar like that, it's just like they take the name of the comic, but the story is not much to do with the title. They kind of just remixed it a bit. Instead of the hearse, it's the ice cream truck.
Oh yeah, you were wrong. You lied. You were like, yeah, she was I'm like, no, she wasn't. That's the Alan's a liar. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, but I didn't read it. You're right. I didn't read that one. So this one I read, and I was like, this is just, I don't know. Anyway, so we go to the warehouse and we see that this woman that's running the warehouse, I forgot her name, Vander whatever. So it's another name that's just stupid. And, like these are names they gave.
Or something.
The writer gave these people, and there's like no names in the comic. Like it could be any person's name. Anyway, so this fat woman from My Big Fat Greek Wedding comes out, and she's like, she hires idiots because Brad Dourif is there, and so is another guy who's also slow. It's two slow people.
Cooter.
Cooter. His name's Cooter. So it was just ridiculous. And then they're there, and she's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? You should be getting to work." And
yeah, it's just like a hard ass boss that degrades them any chance she gets. So she's just kind of rummaging through the whole factory.
Where were you?
Working.
Goofing off is more like it.
I was on the break.
Listen, mister, this is not a playpen for boys in short pants.
I ain't wearing short pants.
Can it? Now be old Bird just pulled in. And where is little Tom, huh?
He said that he had to go over to 41 and pick up a stock transfer.
What? And who authorized that?
District Super.
Oh, God damn it.
So this is the part of the plan they mentioned earlier in the episode. What he was trying to train his brother Virgil to say to this lady here.
You know what else is hilarious is that she has an accent here, and then when she goes outside to talk to Bird, she has no accent.
Oh shit! Yeah, I gotta. You gotta show me that
right
again,
now. She's
I
doing
missed
the
that part. I
accent
know, like
because
everybody's doing the accent too, besides Mr.
Yeah.
Bird and her now.
it's Cooter. They're all placating Bill Paxton. That's what they're doing. Like it makes sense for Brad Dourif to have the same accent as Bill Paxton because they're brothers, And then technically, yeah, if they're all down south, maybe yeah, but not the kids don't have an accent. Mr. Bird doesn't have an accent, but
yeah, because the area don't even look like they're in the South. I guess I think they were still filming. They're still filming in California or somewhere.
Yeah.
Or
and then
like this season started going outside the U.S.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, did they?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Like I think it's season 6 or 7. Like they started filming. Yeah, they started filming or using actors like outside. Pretty much California or L.A. They were doing most of the early seasons.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's continue to watch this for a second.
But all
Yeah.
I'm left with is you two, you knuckleheads. You should know that Mr. Bird is not a man who likes to be kept waiting.
See? Not a man who likes to be
Been that way
kept
for 15
waiting.
years. When Mr. Bird has a scheduled pickup, he arrives
15
on
years.
time.
Arrives on time.
In return.
I will say, she does a great accent in My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I don't know if she's really Greek, but she's fantastic in that. And it's kind of weird because I thought I thought her and the guy were brother and sister. They kind of look alike.
Yeah, a bit, huh?
Look, she's getting all done up for him because she likes him.
Oh yeah, that's a little subplot too, that she likes him and tries to flirt with him later on.
Yeah.
And then like our whole tune changes after like he rejects her.
Yeah, so she comes, Mr. Bird comes and she goes out to greet him because she likes him. And all of a sudden, oh, fireworks started. All of a sudden,
It's
Cooter,
popping off right now.
yeah, all of a sudden, this guy, idiot, Billy shows up and he goes, Cooter goes, "Oh, Billy, when did you get out? Like you got out finally or whatever?" And
Yeah.
Billy looks at him, just punches him in the face and knocks him out. And then later on, like Virgil's kind of upset. He's like, "Why'd you do that? You should have done that." You know, he goes, "Shut up, he's an idiot," or whatever. He goes, "No, he's not. You know, one time he asked me who I thought would win in the fight between Darth Vader, the Munsters, and somebody else, RoboCop, and I said I thought Darth Vader was gonna win, and he gave me a real compelling argument as to why."
He did his research.
Yeah. He's like, "Shut
This
up."
like shows like his simple mindedness.
Yeah.
That part was funny.
Yeah, I like that part. But yeah, so she's now flirting with him, trying to get this guy to take her out, and he's like, I have no interest in this. Why he didn't just say I'm married or I'm dating somebody? No, he's just like, no. She's like, are you gonna go to the vendor's ball or the vendor's chair, whatever it is, and
vendor's convention or something,
awards, like it's the vendor awards or whatever. I was like, what the fuck? So she goes, no, I'm not gonna, and she's like trying to flirt with him, and he's like, no. And then finally, like, she looks pissed because he said no enough times, and then she starts writing something down, and he's like, I hope I didn't upset you. And she goes, I said it was fine. I said it was fine, whatever. So that was funny.
I think it was like his voice or something.
Yeah. So do you want to say what happens from here?
I think afterwards, from what I remember, like, yeah, Brad Dourif and Bill Paxton are trying to go through the rest of the plan that they had in mind for, that was like the start of the whole episode. And he's like, you got to take care of like that lady. And we kind of get a sense that like, yeah, I mean, yeah, Virgil doesn't like her. She's like rude and mean to him. And then the lady goes in the back, I guess, where the vault is or where they keep the money. And then Virgil goes and follows her. And I think she trips. She falls over the safe or something. Right. And then that's when like he goes, it's like, yeah, well, Bill Paxton tells him like beforehand, like, yeah, you gotta go take care of her or whatever. And then he took it too literally. Like,
he says, do what you gotta do. Give her a titty twister.
Oh yeah, that part was funny too. I'm telling you, there's some good lines in here. Like it's just funny, like the way they performed it too. Like the actors and the script, for the dialogue at least was solid. You get into it. So
she goes into the office and she goes talking. I don't know. She didn't trip. Like he came in after she was like I guess she was bending down to put the money back in the safe, right?
Yeah.
And then he slammed the door. She turned around. The camera pans to him, and then all of a sudden you just see her on the floor. So we don't know if he just scared her. She fell or whatever. So then she's like, "What are you doing in here?" And he says, "Oh, my brother." Right? He says, "Billy told me to do something," and he goes, "What?" Like, she's like, "Oh, I hope he spends the rest of his life in prison."
What's he gonna do with it?
Yeah. And then she closes the safe, I think. And then he walks up and we see he has like it looks like an ice pick, right, with the handle, or like a brass knuckle ice pick combination. And then he starts walking towards her, and that's it. So now Billy's over there. He's ready to he's waiting for, he wants this guy to get out of the car, right? He wants Mr. Bird to get out of the car, I believe.
Yeah, he's hoping that he gets out so that they could rob him and kill him.
Yeah.
That's kind of what his ultimate plan was earlier on.
Yeah.
But since like he's not getting out, he keeps calling out to her, and then he ends up driving off.
He's like, "Come on, people. Come on, people." He goes, what does he say? Not time is of the essence. He says, I don't know, something like time is of the essence or whatever.
Time is money or whatever.
Yeah, time is money. That's what it is. Time is money. And then all of a sudden, Virgil shows up behind Billy, and he's covered in blood. And Billy's like, "What the hell did you do? Like, what the? Tell me what you did." He says, "I did what you told me to do." And then he's like, "Oh." And then all of a sudden, like, Virgil looks and he sees the woman. I forgot her name.
Yeah, Mrs.
Crawling.
Mrs. Funger.
She's crawling and she's covered in blood, and she's blood's coming out of her mouth, and then like at any moment, because Mr. Bird turns the rearview mirror, he could see, or side mirror, he can see if her crawling. So now Billy's nervous, and he's like scared. He's like, oh my god, this is terrible. So he starts looking around
towards the ice cream truck, that lady, pretty much. And
literally, there's a point where she comes through, and you can see her in the rearview mirror, in the side mirror. You can see her crawling or whatever. She's like, she can't scream, kind of like in the movie Scream, where Drew Barrymore sees her parents, and she goes, Mom, and nothing comes out. But like she's like trying, she's like, she can't, and it doesn't matter. Even if she did scream, Mr. Bird's like honking the horn, like hurry up, like let's go.
He's ready to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, and then this guy goes around, and he finally gets like a fisherman hook from I think it's a hook,
like a crane hook or
ice.
something.
Yeah, it's like for ice, but I refer to it as the fisherman hook from like I Know What You Did Last Summer, like that. So he grabs one of those,
like that cartoon where they pulled her out from the stage with the cane, but with the ice pick on her head.
Yes, so
crane hook on her head.
There are two separate sides of the warehouse, so he doesn't want Bird to see him, and she's crawling, and if Bird looked, he would have seen her already, and he's taking that meat hook or the fisherman hook, and he's trying to grab her, and he can't. Finally, he snaps on her head, and he pulls her, and this is when the episode gets good, in my opinion. Once this happens, because then Bird leaves, and they go into the office, and there's blood everywhere. Virgil went crazy on this woman. That's why she couldn't walk. That's why everywhere. There's just blood all over. And he looks at the safe is closed. And he's like,
Please tell me you took the money out.
No, I didn't take it out, Billy. You said you'd do it. That's the plan.
Freaking murder one, and we didn't get shit.
See, I'm telling you, the dialogue.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And the performance is good too. Like it just worked.
Yeah,
it just made it work.
Great. It would have been funnier if he says, "I closed it."
Oh,
that would have been better. That would have been better if he goes, "Oh, she closed the safe," and then he goes, "No, I closed it, Billy." And you're like, "What?" He's like, I closed it, whatever. It goes, what? Something, that would have been funnier.
And they want to get blood on the money.
Yeah, something, I don't know, who knows. But then he goes, he says, what about the puppet man? What about Mr. Bird? You said you could get $500 from him a day or whatever. Right?
The puppet man, he's still got money, don't he? He said he had $500 easy.
Yeah. The puppet man.
Why couldn't this be called the Puppet Man, this episode? Or why couldn't this be called Ice Cream Man? Like anything else. The title makes no sense for this episode at all.
No, that's true. Yeah. I don't know why they decided to just keep the name of the comic that they took some parts of, but yeah, otherwise there's not much to do with it. They could have changed the name.
A lot of things in this episode are irrelevant. Like the puppet thing is irrelevant. Like, what was the point of the puppet thing too?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I was going through my head is I thought it was going to be another like evil puppet thing, but turns out to be something else. We'll get
and it
into
would have been cool, like if you want to do a twist, right? Because anyway, let's get to the best part. I think this is like the best. I'm not going to show it here, but they go to Bird's.
That part was good.
Yeah, they go to Bird's house. And they break in, and Bird hears them or whatever. I think Bird hears them as they're trying to break into his house, and they come in. Surprisingly enough, or whatever. He comes out from his back black. It's like some whatever. Whatever those stupid curtains that they have when you go to like a spiritual healer, like beads or whatever hanging to separate rooms. So he's standing behind theirs, and there's black because you don't see the living room behind him or whatever's behind him, room. And then finally, when Billy and Virgil get into the house, he comes out and he raises his hand or whatever, right? Now, I thought it would have been better, in my opinion, if this was, well, I don't want to spoil it yet. So he's like, no, please, no, right? And fucking
And he mentioned like it wasn't. He said something like it
It
wasn't. His
wasn't my
idea
idea.
to, like,
Yeah.
to turn you in.
Yeah. It goes. I tried to talk him out of it, and then something pulls him back, like something's like pulling him away.
Yeah, it looked
and
like
then,
somebody was pulling him.
And then that's when Billy goes, "Enough with your crazy shit," you know. Show him what? Show him we got ways. Show him we got ways for him to talk, something like that. And
Yeah, something to that effect. And then his brother Virgil just straight up just shoots him in the head. Another great scene. Just that
was the
dynamic
best
between the two.
Yeah, that's because he looks so. Bill Pax is like Bill Pax is like, why did I pick my brother to help me? I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I picked my idiot simpleton brother to help me, and he's ruined everything. He killed this woman, basically.
Yeah.
He closed the safe. Well, he didn't, but he didn't get the money out of the safe. He kills this guy before we could get any of the money. We got to search his whole house for money now. By the way, that was a pretty good head explosion. That's like the best scene.
And that I was rewatching that one. That's great. Great special effect on that one.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Actually, that's the best part because then everything else after here is going to be ridiculous. So, I think Virgil said he wouldn't tell us where the money was, would he? Right? And he goes, "How's he going to tell us now?
How's he going to tell us with the hole in his head?"
Yeah.
And he used the R word on this one. Hey yo.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day, yeah.
So now they have to search the house. So he tells them to go search the house. So Virgil goes to another room while Billy searches this room. And after a few moments of searching, going crazy, looking all over the kitchen, looking all over the living room, he opens the freezer, the refrigerator, and then there's a freezer there too. He opens that, and there's nothing but ice cream, a lot of ice cream. And he's so pissed. And then all of a sudden he finds a bunch of money. It's all hiding inside the ice cream.
Hiding under the ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah. Or in it.
Originally said.
The boxes. Yeah. And he's so excited. He's like, I found it. I got the money. Come on, let's go. And then he runs into the living room and goes, I got it. And then he's like, where are you?
All a bunch of ones, by the way. He's like, whenever they exchanged the money with that lady in the previous scene, it was just all a bunch of ones.
So then all of a sudden,
I just found it funny.
You hear, and his leg blows up. Another cool scene. I will give that. These three
Somebody
things.
from the back of the curtains shot him in the leg.
Yes.
His leg is just gone.
Yeah. So these three things were awesome. The woman getting killed, her crawling and the blood coming out was fantastic. The room full of blood, Virgil filled with blood. Bill Paxton's hilarious in this, even though, it's catered to him. That's when the episode got good all the way until this moment for me. It would have been better. Even the reveal would have been better if it wasn't spoiled. So nonetheless, he's missing his leg. He's in there screaming, and he goes we killed you. What's going on? He goes, oh no. So he shows him Virgil that he killed Virgil, and basically shows him, no, you didn't kill me. You killed my brother, my Siamese twin brother. So it was another Siamese twin episode, but this one's hilarious because his brother is attached to his booty. How do they crap? I have no idea.
Yeah, that part, it lost it for me a little bit. I thought it was kind of ridiculous. They're attached by the ass, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. And what's also stupid and ridiculous is that it's an actual dummy. They use an actual dummy attached to him that looks like a dummy. It doesn't look like a person.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you have a real person if you're not going to show his face?
With the same hair.
Yeah. It looks so, it was like, oh, bro. Why did you do that? It was just so preposterous. So he goes, he tells him, you killed my twin brother. He doesn't tell him he's Siamese. He says, in fact, we're still close, and then he turns and shows his ass, and there's this mannequin hanging is so terrible. It's ridiculous. It goes kind of like a bond that isn't broken. It's kind of like, whatever. It just looks ridiculous.
But then he unveils that his brother was the one doing the voice of the puppet.
Yes. Wait a second. But it couldn't have been his brother doing the voice. He was the driver. In my mind, this is the one that was driving all the time. This is the guy that I think, right?
He was the one we saw in the beginning of the episode. The one that he shot was the was the one that was shy, and he was doing the voice of
Yeah,
the
but
puppet. We
that's
never
so
saw him.
the
He
one
said
that was
he said it himself. Yeah.
okay. So the one that was driving the beginning when he pulls up with the kids, that's the nice one. And then when he closes the curtain, it's the nasty one that tells him, "I remember you. You stole." That tells Billy that with the puppet. That's this one. But then later on, so then they could switch drivers, I guess.
Yeah,
They can
and
switch
then
driving.
and then yeah, it also explains. So they took. I mean, they took this element, and then
From the comic,
the idea from the comic. That's the only thing, and also it makes sense when you think about it going back, like with the lady. What was her name? Grafunger, Mrs. Grafunger would say like, "Yeah, he's been coming out here 15 years for doing deliveries, but yeah, he never come out to pick up the load. Like he would always expect them to put it in the back.
Yeah, which was in the
So
comic.
that's like the only little thing that they crumbled in there from the comic too.
Yeah.
So it all makes
And then-
sense. I mean, leading up to that point, but it did look ridiculous. The dummy was attached to him, and then they were connected ass to ass, and he didn't even have his hair. It just looked like a dummy.
Yeah. Then he kills Billy after everything, and then they show him later on in I guess, who knows the future, in the ice cream truck by himself. Don't know what the hell he's doing. Selling half off ice cream, and then the kid shows up with the butter. I guess he became addicted to butter.
Yeah,
and he tells him like, "You stink." He's like, "You smell." Like, he smells. He goes, "Ugh, you smell." And the kid's like, "Get out of here." So now it's half off ice cream and no more puppet shows. And I think he was reading the Predator versus Jesse James comic actually in the car when the kid walked up to him eating the butter, because it looked like the same back page of.
I think so. It might have been. Yeah, I never got a good eye on it. Like it's just a comic.
Yeah,
but he lost it. Like he's got his dead brother hanging on his back with half his head missing on the where he got shot. That part looked all right. He looked better than they got that one right, but I was like, they just used some prop default dummy on the other scene.
That scene
was kind
I
of
think
bad.
because it was close. The last scene that we see of the brother with the head blown off, which I think is awesome. I think that was awesome.
Yeah, great.
But I think that scene is a mask, and there's somebody in there hanging because it's a closer shot, so they had to have somebody there. Why they didn't do that in the others, maybe I don't get it. It looks so ridiculous when he first sees Billy. But anyway, he drives off, half ice cream, and then the episode ends. Tell us what the Crypt Keeper says, please, as we close this out.
Well, yeah, much like the theme of the episode, the title, the only similarities, and maybe one idea, and everything. Yeah, nothing related. Just like this segment, Crypt Keeper is in his huddle, his team huddle. We had the football team going on. Shame about Billy and Virgil. But you know what they say, kiddies? 2 deads are better than 1. As for Bird, he stayed in the ice cream business and did very well. Half off ice cream with it smelling like shit. I don't know, Crypt Keeper. And then he said, everyone loves Ben and Scaries. Well, I got to get back to my practice. Next week, we're playing the Washington Redskins. And then it goes to his team 45, 22, 33, hut. Then he accidentally rips off one of the players' hands. You idiot. I didn't call for a handoff. And he laughs. And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah,
I don't know why they went with this team. At least they could have had him trying to sell ice cream to kids. Like if they got real kids to go buy ice cream from him, I would have, it would have been cooler. I don't know why they chose this football team angle with the Crypt Keeper, but I figured we cover it.
Because it's not really
near the end. There's some like, yeah, they kind of just didn't care. It seemed like,
yeah, they didn't care. I don't think. But
regardless, well, I mean, what are your overall thoughts now that
I gotta get
went
to
over this
show
whole
the
thing?
comic, even though we talked about.
Oh yeah, we'll
it
talk
pretty
about the
much the whole
comic.
time.
Yeah.
Well,
actually, I think I like the comic more, to be honest.
Oh, of course.
I think
yeah.
it's just because of the idea.
Yeah. Actually,
and then they had a hearse.
I will say, yeah, that's
It matched the title at least.
I like the comic. It says the Crypt of Terror. It's a short little comic. It shows the guy, Mr. Bird, same name, riding his hearse, and behind him, and people are like wondering why he always has the hearse. But like I said, kids are teasing him. He comes to town just to buy food, basically, and have it put in his car because they say vestils. I looked up that word and it means food. I was
Okay.
like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's what it means. So, and it's constantly interrupted by the Crypt Keeper each time. And they said, keep out of jail, Bird. See you next month, Mr. Bird. Bye, Mr. Bird. Crazy old Bird, always driving that hearse wagon. He ain't no undertaker. How come? Search me. I guess that means,
Beats
I don't
me.
know. Beats me, yeah. I don't know. Nobody knows. And then he goes, yes, dear readers. Nobody in that town knows why old Lionel Bird drives that hearse wagon. Why he never comes into town without it. Why he refuses to get off it. When he does come in on his rare monthly visits, nobody that is but me. I gotta do a better voice as the Crypt Keeper.
That's not bad.
But he goes back in time. He says, in order to know what happened, I have to go back.
Yeah, he's kind of giving us a what's it called? A flashback pretty much to how he came, why he's in that wagon and never just gets out. The same thing like the episode with the ice cream man, like he never got out of his car to load the items he was trying to pick up.
Yeah, he goes, well, have to go back a bit, back to the time before he ever came to that small New England town in his strange vehicle. And then we see two men are running away from jail, or escaped jail, I think. Back then, back before he even owned the old-fashioned hearse, Lionel lived in a lonely cabin way up in the mountains in another county. One day, two men came to the cabin. Look, Nick, smoke's coming out. Somebody lives there, Red. And he goes, the two men that came to Lionel's cabin way up in the mountains were strangers to those parts. They knew nothing about Lionel Bird. They were fugitives from the law. They should have been wearing like the black and white, I think they just robbed the bank. I don't think they actually escaped prison. You know what I mean? They like rob the bank, or they rob somebody, they killed somebody, and they're on the run, and the cops are chasing them. But normally when they say the hounds, you hear the hounds are coming, right? You would assume that that's when they escape prison, and they would send the hounds for you, and they had the black and white striped, back in the day. That's what they wore. Right. The prisoners had to wear. So you would think that, but they don't. But it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So anyway, similarly, like they tell them, like right here it goes, Nick, the bloodhounds. I don't think basically he threatens him several times. This guy, he goes, you're gonna what does he say? Well, let's our car broke down. That's okay. No, so once they hear the hounds, that's when they threaten him, and he goes, bloodhounds, you are criminals, right? And he goes, yeah, old timer, we're criminals, killers, and we'll kill you if you let on that we're in here, right? So they're in the, I gotta guess they're in the house. I don't know. It seems like they're in the house, but he's just sitting there like an idiot. Yeah, I guess this is the same kind of curtain thing. He's sitting in front of his living room. Why would you do that? But it's a comic, so it's okay. It makes sense for the comic.
Curtains.
Yeah. But then they kill him. After he told the cops that nobody's there. He's like, no, everything's fine, and they know that he doesn't answer the door, the police, so they just leave him alone. They walk away, and he goes right here on this panel. If you're listening to us in an audio version, you could go to Creeps of the Crypt on YouTube, and you can watch the panels that we are showing right now. So the guy, Red, he goes, we're hunting down some killers. Oh, no, that's the cop. The cop goes, we're hunting down some killers. You seen them? And he goes, I'll kill you, old man. He goes, no, Herb, I ain't seen him. I ain't seen him at all. And he goes, they saying the baying sounds disappeared down the mountainside. Nick and Red breathed a sigh of relief. You were smart, old man. You did right. Now go leave. Don't be crazy, old man. We're gonna hide out here. No, you can't. Oh, can't we? Nick, give me your gun. Well, what are you going to do? We're going to kill you, you stupid old bleep. No, bam. And then Red goes, oh no, why is it saying Red for the other one? They messed up over here. This guy is supposed to be Red with the hat, with the Kango hat. And this other one is supposed to not be red, at least to my knowledge.
Yeah, I might miss that part, but I know both their names, but I guess I didn't pay that much attention to if they messed up their names later on.
Oh no, I made a mistake. Red is the other one.
Oh, you're right.
I
Red.
just thought it was
Red with
over here. Yeah, somebody lives there, Red. That was my mistake. Okay, so they did it right. Sorry, of course they did. They have people that look over this. So they kill the old man, and then they go dig his grave, kind of like in Death of Some Salesman. And after they dig it, they go in to go put him in there, and he's sitting there like nothing happened with a shotgun in his hand. And they go, "What? No, holy what?" You know, he goes, "He ain't dead, but I pumped him. I pumped 2 45s in him." And he goes, she's double barreled, you murdering rats. 1 shell for each of you. Don't shoot, old timer. We didn't mean to. Yeah, we didn't mean to. You perfectly said you were going to kill him.
Right.
We didn't mean to. And then he goes, look, Nick, blood, but he ain't bleeding. No, I'm not bleeding. You didn't kill me. You killed my twin. Your twin? Yes, my Siamese twin. Boom, boom, boom.
There's the twist.
What?
Main thing they took from the comic onto this
I
adaptation.
changed my voice.
Oh, sound like Donald Duck.
What the fuck is this?
He goes, good Lord. And then he shoots him and he kills him. And you see the body hanging off. And that's the whole thing. He's been riding that hearse because he bought the hearse for his brother. So he rides into town. His brother's in the back, decaying, basically, which is pretty gross, you know? Like,
Yeah,
and
I mean that's also harkens back to the ice cream guy. It was like they were commenting on how he stink. That one kid.
yes, but
The
I will
butter.
say, they looks like they're attached in the back,
More on the back.
more in the back
Yeah,
than the
that
butt.
That one looked less silly than his straight ass on the other
Yeah,
one.
that's weird. Either way, it would be weird to do, but nonetheless, that's the comic. I like the comic. I know if I like it more than the episode, honestly. But then again, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't really rank the episode. Like I said, I gave you my reasons why. It was kind of spoiled, and then I thought it got good for the later half. I do think Bill Paxton did a good job, as he always does. Brad Dourif was great. I think everybody did a good job. I just think the main problem in this episode is the story, the title, the things that don't pay off. There's no reason for this butter shit. You know, like there's no reason for it at all. You know, no, not at all. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. So anyway, that's that. I'm not gonna rate it. I like the comic. I like the episode. I'm gonna say I do like the episode. I did find it rough to get through only because it was spoiled, and that's really it. I was kind of like not getting into it because I'm like, I already know what happens. Kind of ruined it for me, you know?
No, that's fair. Like you mentioned, like just being spoiled at the end kind of, messed it up for you overall. No, I have the same thoughts too, because just how they got there and just the story. I think it could have been done a bit better, but I like some of the stuff between Bill Paxton and Brad Dourif. I think they did a pretty good job with what they're given, and some of the dialogue we commented and laughed a few times on the interplay between them, and just how similar they are to the characters from Mice and Men. And I like their dynamic, and
yeah,
the dialogue between them was pretty funny.
It gets great. Like I said, it gets great once Virgil comes out from stabbing the crap out of the woman, and then you see her like that's where the episodes get really good. Now, I probably would have thought this was a cool twist ending if I wasn't spoiled. You know, I would have been like, I love it because I love the twist. So, and then the guy gets his comeuppance. It's exactly what I like from Tales from the Crypt. So I probably would have liked it a lot more had it not been ruined for me. That being said, I do still think it's a good episode, but I'm just not going to rate it.
No, that's solid. That's fair.
What would you give it?
Yeah, overall, I think it's solid. It's not the one of the best ones, but it's far from the worst one too. I think I like this more than Food for Thought. Although I know I'm already memeing Food for Thought. Just I want my dessert line. That one's stuck to me. But yeah, I think it's definitely better than Food for Thought. I will say. I think it's a solid 3 out of 5 is what I'm gonna give it. I think the performances and then just what they did with what they were given was solid, and some of the effects with the gunshot on Mr. Bird near the end was good, and that's about like the main parts about it. I know it has its flaws for sure. I think if you're willing to, not forgive, but at least let them slide, I think you can enjoy the episode for what it is. I think they did a decent job at adapting the main kind of twist in the comic and incorporating it and then kind of modernizing it. Pretty much is what they did. They just restructured it and had it in a modern setting with two southern hicks trying to get one over their employer pretty much, and then it leads to another plot of murder and revenge. But I dug it for what it was. I think it's solid. 3 out of 5. I think it's fair to give this one.
All right, so that's Alan's review. Maybe in the future when we rank them, I'll give my rating what I think it is. If I'm fresh from having to watch it multiple times, going in brand new, maybe I'll appreciate the episode more. But with that being said, let's move on to comments. If you leave a comment on this video, we'll go back in the next episode and show those comments on screen. And this is all the comments. It's not that many. It's 2 or 3 from our 2 biggest fans left on the last episode we did, which was Food for Thought. So the first one up is from the Jimmy Ryan, and this is his comment that he left for us.
This episode is mid. The gorilla aspect was silly to borderline dumb. Ernie Hudson was fantastic. He was so gross. John, your impression of him was spot on. You sounded just like him. 2.5 gorillas. This was probably the most fun podcast y'all have done so far. I cracked up several times.
Well, Jimmy Ryan obviously has not seen our older or listened to our older podcasts where we talked about the scarecrow in and
that one was hilarious to do, and Death of a Salesman recently. Yeah, that one was funny too.
The one that was the one we did. The one with that she was mentally retarded in the comic book.
They call I think it was 6-sided or 4-sided triangle, something like that.
Yeah,
4-sided triangle. With Patricia Arquette, and then
you ain't got no man, Mary.
You ain't got no man.
You ain't got no man. You stupid simpleton. A lot of simpletons in these comics.
I'm still convinced, and somehow maybe it's completely not inspired, but I feel like Pearl, I was inspired by that. At least that scene with that scarecrow.
She had the sex, yeah, maybe.
She was like dry grinding the scarecrow.
Well, funny fact, this uses the hook for that scene with the lady, right? Bill Paxton uses the hook. Billy uses the hook. Yeah. Now, in the book, because I Know What You Did Last Summer is adapted from a novel. The novel has no hook. There's no fisherman. It's a guy. It's a normal person who's sending notes and calling and threatening them because of what happened. It was changed into the notes because Scream was already released and it was a big hit, and they reworked the script because there were, I think, phone conversations there, and they just changed that, but they left it the notes and they made it a fisherman, Slickerman or whatever, and they made it in North Carolina because Kevin Williamson, that's where he grew up. Dawson's Creek is like literally a real creek kind of, but it's not called Dawson's. It's called like something else. But anyway, so maybe Kevin Williamson saw the hook from this episode and he was like, that'd be a great weapon, because that's really not a fisherman's hook. I think that hook is for ice. Like, I feel like that's like somebody takes ice, like hooks one side and somebody else hooks the other side, and they pick up ice with those hooks. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm always wrong. So don't take my word for it. Look it up for yourself. But that's what I think. I don't know if fishermen actually use that.
It always looked to me like the crane hook almost, in a way. Like something like that.
We got another comment we got to play. So here is our second biggest fan, the Iron Sabbath.
This episode is bad. I guess it's fine if Ernie Hudson sexually licking a plate does it for you. The only episode from
Guilty as
season
charged.
5 I actively dislike. The rest at least get a passing grade. This one is just a failure, which sucks because the setting is fun.
Yeah. I want my dessert. Oh, wait, we have one more comment. Speaking of that, this one, who left this comment? What's the name?
I want my dessert.
Oh, Splinter 47.
Oh, snap.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah,
that guy sucks.
some weirdo over there.
I hate that dude.
Whoever that guy is, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the comments for the last episode, Food for Thought. We'd like to thank you for leaving those comments. And remember, if you want to leave us a comment, we will play it the next time. So for people who live in Brass Horses, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to be upset with my thoughts on this, but it was spoiled and I couldn't really get into the episode, but I do appreciate all the actors and everything and what they did up to a certain point. Again, I think they should have changed the name because it's irrelevant. It could have been called anything else. They did an episode that had nothing to do with Tales from the Crypt, a few of them. So they could have done that with this when they named it something else. It didn't need to be. Because what was that one? Oh, no, Showdown. The H1 is actually a title from the comic. So, but they switched. Wasn't there a comic episode that we reviewed that the title wasn't the actual title for the comic? Like the comic was another title?
Yeah, we've mentioned it a few times. I can't think of the. I think it was Dead Right or something, or was it?
It's Dead Right. I think it was Dead Right also. Yeah, I think you're right.
Like that was one example, yeah. I mean, and then the only other one, not similar, but what was it? The one on the road, Killer Road, or the Brad Pitt episode. But that one was like that one's a whole original story. So that's the only one that
it was
wasn't inspired by
Showdown.
comic.
Yeah, King of the Road was original, not nothing to do with it. The episode, I think, right? Or was that Showdown? Because Showdown is the same name as an actual comic, but has nothing to do with that comic because that was about a gunslinger.
Yeah,
that's nothing. But King of the Road is totally different. I think King of the Road is totally original. I don't think there's a comic for it. That's why we did the Brad Pitt, Nightmare on Elm Street episodes with the thing. But anyway, yeah, that's our episode for Creeps of the Crypt. The people who live in Brass Hearses. Let us know in the comment section down below what you thought about this episode. Remember, hit that like button if you like this video. Subscribe if you're new here. And check out us on Patreon at patreon.com/Creeps of the Crypt, where we will have more stuff up there for you guys. It's only $2 a month. Check it out. Later tonight, I will be doing the first cartoon episode. Or not maybe the first, just a cartoon episode. I'm just going to pick one randomly. So we'll see how I enjoy that garbage. I used to remember that. I forgot what channel it was, but I remember that. And then the Beetlejuice cartoon. Man,
I remember the Beetlejuice one. I didn't watch it as much, but I remember. And then they had the Mask cartoon too.
Yes, they had the Mask cartoon. I remember that. I always wanted to, because that was really a good cartoon. Actually, that was really cool. That was right at the age where it was edgy and he was doing crazy. Like, that was a good cartoon. And I was like, I can never see it because it would air when I have to leave for school. So it would be, I'm like catching like maybe 5-10 minutes. And they're like, come on, let's go. I'm like, no. But
yeah, that cartoon is pretty fun. It's on Tubi. I think you can watch it for free on there.
I haven't seen that at all. I don't think I ever really got to see a full episode. I think I got to see maybe one episode. I really did like that cartoon. But anyway, yeah, there was Beetlejuice, there's a bunch of them. But yeah, that's for another time. So yeah, so check us out on Patreon. Give us a rating on Spotify or iTunes if you can, if you enjoy this podcast. And yeah, do you want to plug anything before we leave?
Yeah, I mean, you can check out my Twitch. I'm under Splinter47. It's all spelled out because somebody took my name. And so it's all spelled out, Splinter47 on Twitch. Well, I was recently streaming an older game, one of the Tom Clancy Splinter Cell games from back in the day, Chaos Theory. It's a 20-year-old game. Crazy because that came out in 2006. So it's like a stealth game, military stealth game. So you can check it out there whenever I go on streaming again. But yeah, other than that, yeah, let us know what you thought of the episode. I'm curious because I'm sure people I think might like it more. I have a feeling they'll like it more than Food for Thought.
Oh yeah, for sure they'll like it more than it is better than Food for Thought. It is.
It is, yeah. It is better.
It is better than Food. I will say that. I could say this better than Food for Thought. But yeah, check us out at Creeps of Crypt on X. Follow us there. And you can also check out ghostcrusadersmerch.com. I don't like plugging it that much, but there are some cool shirts on there that you guys would enjoy. So check that out. And yeah, that's that. And we will talk to you guys next time.
Peace.